Hey. Hi, Rianne. Hey, guys. Waiting for a couple of people to come in the room. Hey, Latrice. Cleaning and clearing the energy so that we will have a good and fruitful session and reading. And I'm going to do some sharing tonight because I keep talking to people in my inbox and realize that some people may need samples of exactly what I'm talking about. And what I'll do is I'll let the song play out since it's the same title of tonight's session. He's a fool for pain. Hey Latrice, hey Carvin. I'm so glad you guys are here tonight. I'm doing a little bit more sharing than I normally would so that you guys can get the information that is needed. Hi Ayana. I'm burning a little Palo Santo so that I invite my spirits and your spirits here to bring you messages, good blessings. And if you just got on, I'm just letting the song play out, giving more people time to get in on this class. I had to take a day. Somebody was throwing really negative energy. As a result, my sister got hurt. She was hit by a car. Hey Jim, hey Jerry. She's okay now. And then when I tried to post the last class, which was triggers and how to disarm them, I pressed save and it erased. So I needed to do a reset day to reset the energy in my space. Sending some invites out. Hi guys, so grateful that you guys are here with me tonight. I'm just sending out some invites so that we can get this room popping. I got my Palo Santo going, and I probably should have been sending these invites out earlier, but got caught up, in the song. I haven't heard it in so long. Okay, so tonight's class is called How Can I Ease the Pain? How can I ease the pain? And I really did a lot of work, and I'm going to set the Palo Santo here so it can continue to blow good energy all through our reading. But I got ash all over me, but it's blessed ash, so I'm okay with that. Hey, Raisa. Hi, Thomas. Actually, Jen, some people do start from the feet. I'm starting from my head because what I'm doing, I'm putting the Palo Santo around, not as a protection because my protections are already up. I was using the Palo Santo to invite in the energies and the spirits tonight so that we could get as much information as we needed. So honestly, it depends on the work that you're doing that you might use your Palo Santo, your sage, your bay leaves for. And the work that I'm trying to do tonight is invite in good spirits so you guys can get information. Okay? Hey, Nicole. Hi, Bernard. So tonight's thing, like I said earlier, welcome to 21 days, 21 letters connecting with your God self. So each time I do a live, for the next 21 days of lives, I will be introducing another session, and this is helping you to connect with yourself. This is the last session that I'm going to be doing absolutely for free, okay? Because I got major work to do, and Spirit gave me a dream the other night, and that dream was that I can't want your healing or your change more than you want it. You have to be in agreement. Hey, Derica, you have to be in agreement with me for your healing. You have to be in agreement with me for your change, and you have to want it. Because if you don't want it, let me tell you, the other parts of yourself will put up a wicked fight, and it's just too much. It's just too much. And there are people out there who truly want to change. So what I decided to do tonight, the one thing I forgot, something to drink, but I'll figure it out in the interim. I wrote my God self letter last night, and I want you guys to know I don't ask you to do anything that I myself am not doing. So I did my own series of God self letters. I'm doing the exercises again because here's what's wonderful about this. You can do the exercises more than one time because you're going to be at different points in your life and you're going to need some of the things that you know you need lacking from. It's just like I want you to think of this experience like clothes, wearing clothes, okay? So you may wear an outfit, a pair of jeans, a skirt, or whatever. There has to come a time, it comes to you brand new, and guess what? It's going to get dirty, and you have to wash it, right? Does that mean you get rid of it? Does it mean just because you bought it and made the change to have something new that you'll always have something brand new? No, that means that you have to keep up the maintenance on your clothes. You have to wash them, you have to dry clean them, you have to press them. And the same thing is true for your mental state. So I'm doing these exercises again so I can be working with you in real time. And I'm going to be totally transparent now and share my God self letter just so that I can show you where I am. Also, if you're on the live right now, I'm going to ask that you go ahead and share it. It's far less important for people to be able to comment as it is for people to get the information. So please make sure that you share the information. Hey, to my best friend April. Okay, so dear God self Renee, I am grateful for you. I'm grateful for your love. Thank you for saving me time and again. Hey, Bradford. You have given me traumatic amnesia when it mattered most. And disclaimer, just explaining traumatic amnesia is in when series or things in my life were so traumatic that my higher self knew that I would break from it. I can't remember those events. I don't remember them at all. I have no recall of them. So that's what my higher self did for me. There were certain things I forgot. For the sum of my years, you have made me your top priority. For the rest of my life, I will make you mine. Tonight, I look at my life and ask myself the question I'd ask my clients and students. How can I ease the pain? Hi, Garth. The first thing I have to do, hi, Aaron Joy. Hi, Gonzi. The first thing I have to do is I have to acknowledge what has happened and how I've been instrumental in my own mental, emotional, and spiritual breakdown. I have allowed people in my life that devalue me and all that I am, trying to be, do, and build. I became a minimalist. Hey, Annabelle. I gave the best of me for minimal interaction, care, and love in all of my relationships. I start my healing by stopping the desensitizing. I cannot add Novocaine to my emotional pain anymore. Pain is an indicator that things aren't right. You were sending me the pain, allowing it. A get out now Renee card. And I dismantled my pain receptors. No more deadbeat friends, no more deadbeat family, no more deadbeat associates. In order to have a productive relationship with you, with me, I have to connect to myself. So, in reading that letter, I want to talk about some of the things I pointed out, and I want you to think about that when you're doing your letters tonight. I was really trying to figure out if I should name tonight Numb or How Can I Ease the Pain? And when I thought about it, the song came in my head, How Can I Ease the Pain? And I never played music with my lives, but I told my son tonight, I said, listen, I need to borrow your extra iPhone, because he was like, what's wrong with your phone? I said, I'm going to use the extra iPhone to do the live, and I'm going to use my phone to play the music, because I wanted the energy to be different in the room. I wanted to invite your ancestors in. I wanted to invite my ancestors in. I wanted to ask for help removing some of the blockages we've created. Some of the things and ways we've desensitized. You know? I don't know if you remember, but Frank Ocean had a song called Novocaine, and it's real talk. How many times have you ignored your gut feeling that says he or she was lying, or he or she wasn't your friend, or you lied to yourself? Perfect example. You have family members. You have family members right now that are not deserving of you, your time, or your energy, but you will drink the Kool-Aid and tell yourself that you need to stay around them because they're your family members. To your own detriment. To your own emotional breakdown. What are some of the things, and you guys know how I like to do the room. Hey, Elle, I'm sorry, I just saw your name. You guys know how I like to do the room. Hey, Debbie, haven't seen you in so long. You guys know I like to go back and forth in the room, so prepare yourself to start typing and talking with me, because it's an interaction here. How many of you have desensitized yourself to certain things? What are some of the ways and things and people you have done to numb the pain in your life, to numb the indicators in your life? What have you done? and be real. Be real, be honest, be transparent. Because the early bird gets the worm. And sitting quiet behind your keyboard or staring at your phone listening to me talk doesn't help you heal. But interaction does. Because you need to know and see that you are not alone in some of the choices that you made. You need to understand and know, hey Patrice, you need to understand and know that there are other people who made some of the same decisions that you made. I'm glad you worked on identifying triggers. Let me tell you, it was so crazy. We talked about triggers that night. It was such a good session. And at the end, when I went to click save, it erased instead. Only because this is the phone that I normally do my lives from. I don't know if you can see it. It's faint, so you can't really see it, but it's really cracked up, and if you hit it too hard, it'll go off by itself. But one of the things, hey son, one of the things that's really important is being able to identify not just your triggers, but how have you contributed to those triggers? What have you done? And I know Aaron Joy is not the only one. Even if you have not written your GODself letters yet, I am hitting on some things for some people. So definitely respond back to me and tell me in what ways have you contributed to desensitizing your own pain? What things have come to warn you about certain people, places, and things that you totally ignored? Because that's important. I'm just waiting on you guys. I'm just sending some invites while I am talking to you. Because my goal, Taran, I know what you mean. Don't want to be friendless. So a lot of times you will friend people who are not worthy of your friendship. Or you will allow certain things or certain behaviors to be ignored just for the sake of having that emptiness, that body, so to speak. Kind of like, I think of those kind of friends like barnacles. I used to call them frenemies, but the reason I call them barnacles is because sometimes most time people's behaviors are based upon their own pain, their own trauma, and their own triggers. So when I think of them as barnacles, I think to myself that they attach themselves to me in a relationship, and they follow me. Now, barnacles have no benefit to the ship. They have no benefit to the ship, but they get everywhere they need to go, and they just tag on. So, Erin Joy, she ignored the red flags to her abusers when her gut said otherwise, looking for the good in him because he was the pastor's son. Honey, let me tell you about the PK kids. The PKs, the pastor's kids. And that's real talk. I did not listen to my indications as well. Being totally transparent, I had two husbands. Two in my life. One when I was 24 and another one when I was 36. Both who were physically abusive. And I have found that every guy I've seen since then has been emotionally abusive, like manipulative, the very things they liked about me in the beginning, hey Sheila, were the very things that they wanted to fix and change at the end. In the beginning, I was really a powerful woman, and at the end, I was a bitch. Now, here's the truth. I mean, you guys have been with me for a while. You've been watching my lives for a while. If not live, you watch them on the replay, because I see, I get a lot of buzz on the replay. I am who I am. I can't keep up garbage for too long. Anybody, no one can. No one can stay not authentically themselves for long. And the same thing is true of your abusers and the people who lie and the people who hurt you. How about family members? Has anybody had any toxic family members and your spirit told you to leave them alone, but you kept convincing yourself, hey, Wingfield, you kept convincing yourself that they were your family and that's just how it is and they just family? How many of you have convinced yourself that you had to put up with their toxicity because they were family members? And that's the proper way to say it. Because we have to eat the meat and spit out the bones. We have to be honest. We have to be transparent. We have to be real. And in order to get to where we need to be and being real, we got to be upfront. Because my sole purpose here's the thing. With nothing to gain. Yes, I sell my oils. Yes, I sell my earrings. In the processes, I said in the processes. In the process of making my own necklaces, I literally, it's a good week if I can clear about $100. It's a good week. And as I've told you before, guys, this is my only source of income. But I understand that starting to process to promise are 3 different stops in the same race. And I know that all of this energy I'm putting out, all of the energy that I'm exuding to give you this, I spend my days, I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, pen and paper at the ready. Look at that. Pen and paper at the ready. And I work on these lessons for you guys. Okay? And the reason that I do that is because I got instructions from Spirit to do so, that I'm a healer. That's what I came for. I'm a healer. I'm a seer. I'm allowed the sight and the smell and the knowing and the hearing, so that all those things work together to help with your healing. Now, here's the thing. Whether you take it or not, it's totally on you. It really is. I hope you do. Because nothing would make me happier than for you to heal and to get to your next level of who you're supposed to be. I don't want you guys to close your eyes and pass into your next transition into your next life without having opened all the gifts and all the boxes that have your name transcribed on them. Absolutely, Aaron Joy, and we have so much in common. You guys know in the beginning of the 21 letter series, I talked about being molested by my cousins for the entire time I was down south between the ages of 9 to 11. And it was very traumatic for me. And when I told my mother that her sisters beat me, because it was like the tester, because they were very physically abusive. So, like, let's say somebody stole something, everybody getting beat. One day I wore one of my good dresses to school, and my aunt beat me first, and then asked me, why'd you wear your good dress to school? And I responded, because it's my birthday. And she said, oh, and walked away. And there are many stories like that. I told my mom that her sisters beat me. They beat me and they abused me and how I felt. And my mother said to me, what do you want me to do? They're my sisters. So I didn't know what to do with that. You know, like, you my mother. Like, and then it took till 35 for me to tell her about the molestation. It took till 35. And it came, and what I'm trying to avoid is what happened to me. I was so angry. You ever been so angry you could hear your head pulsating? You could feel the veins in your head feeling like they were going to pop. And I was just throwing it all up on my mom, just yelling it. They raped me. They took this from me. They took that from me. They did this to me. And my mom, I don't even remember what she said because I was like on automatic dump. And my sister tried to stop me, and I just kind of like pushed her away, and was on automatic dump. And I think it was maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. Mind you, I am 45 now. Me telling her the truth was almost 10 years ago. And she said to me, you know, Renee, I know you ain't lying, because all these years, your story never changed. There was such a release off me when she said that. And I know a lot of people, like, it's like we need people's permission to heal. Because there's some people on the line that are dealing with that. I mean, I can feel it. Your inner child is like sitting at me going, you know, and I can feel it. But you're not saying it because you've been taught that you need permission to release that stuff. And even though my mom said she believed what happened, we went down south a couple of years ago. I want to say 3 years ago, because my cousin died. And I was down there. I did not talk to the cousins at all that did this, but boldly walked with my head up. And my mother and my niece talked to them and took selfies with them. Oh my God, that hurt so much. It was almost like she gave me the apology but snatched it back. So Jim, you said addiction with undisputed denial of the addiction followed by verbal abuse states that I am the cause of all the problems. I don't think so. I think what we have to do is connect to our God self so the way that we view things changes. See, when the way you view things changes, then your circumstances will change. Does that make sense? Like, mostly you got, and here's where we talk about dulling or easing the pain or numbing or sensitizing our pain receptors, whether those are physical or emotional. Drugs, drinking. Hey Viv, hey Sean. Drugs, drinking, sex. There's so many, you know, that we do and we carry out so that we don't feel the pain from the things that have happened to us in our lives, so that the nightmares stop, so that the dreams stop. When I was a little girl, I used to stick my face in the pillow and I would see red stars coming at me like the universe. And I would keep my face there and I would see patterns of yellow and neon green just spinning. Then I would see a Ferris wheel, not people in it, but just orbs turning, orbs of light turning. And then finally, I would see a purple sweater with red stars coming through. I never knew what that meant. I was always so mad that I could not bring somebody in and go, look what I see. But I realize now that that was my higher self keeping my child self present, because the things that had happened to me were so adult that my child self was slipping away. So it was the way that my higher self was saying, no, let's play with these balls of light, let's play with these orbs, let's play with listen, look at the light, feel free, feel yourself flying through the universe. You have to give yourself permission to detach. I've been in New York City my whole life. I am 45 years old, and although I am my mother's youngest and the one who does not live at home, I lived on my own, but I was still in reach, if that makes sense. My mother was literally a block away from where I lived. And I realized that she still had a reach to me. And yes, she can still call while I'm here, but the difference now is that I started listening to my higher self, to that guide that wanted to take me away from that pain. The pain receptors were no longer going to be ignored because it started emotionally, then it flooded into mentally, and then it got to the point where I started feeling it physically. The pains in my chest, the crushing of my spirit. It had got so bad with my mom that no matter where I went, if I went with her, she taught people how to disrespect me. Do I think she meant to do it? No, it's a learned behavior. I think it's a nasty entity that has been passed down. And here I was, this very different child who was very spiritual from the start of her life and was ostracized for it. Why are you not giving yourself permission to be you? Why are you not giving yourself permission to be honest and forthcoming? What are you numbing? I had to stop making excuses to people for my weight. And I realized that a part of my development of polycystic ovarian syndrome was because I was holding a lot of stuff inside. And my body started to put on the weight as a way of sending away the detractors, the men who found me attractive, molesters, because they kept coming. Besides the molesters, I saw Tyler Perry talk about it, and he's like, when you are a child of molestation or rape, it's like blood in the water and the sharks come. I have, besides those two cousins who raped me continuously, I've also been raped in the world twice. I've been date raped twice by somebody I trusted who would bring me wine and slip something in the wine, and I didn't know it. And the visions, because my higher self knew I was doing the work to correct it. My higher self knew I was doing the work to heal. One day I was asleep and the visions came to me of things I wasn't cognizant of my body being limp and being invaded. And I was thinking on it so hard that I got a text that same day from the guy who date raped me. And I just said, Renee, higher self, GODself, oversoul, it's time. It's time to pull these cords to these people. Because cords, we call them many things. The responsibility, the pressure, the burden of the things that happen to me. How many of us are bearing the burdens of the things that have happened to us? Hey, Priscilla. And until you can be honest about those things that you're bearing, You're going to carry them in different ways. Are you eating too much? Are you having sex with the wrong people? Are you taking drugs? Drinking a lot? Are you stealing? Hey, Henry. How are you appeasing? How are you numbing the pain? How are you getting your fix so that you don't feel it? Instead of getting a fix, let's just fix it. Because here's the thing that we end up doing. The first time it's done to us, it's not us. But we learn how to continuously keep doing it to ourselves. We keep doing it to ourselves. We keep doing it to ourselves. And enough is enough. What are some of the other issues you had? Aaron Joy is sharing with us. There's about 5 people on the line now. People are coming and going. I want to hear some of your stories. Let's get it out. Let's wash out your stuff. I've been completely transparent with you. Completely. I remember one time I was 14 years old. And I was at a girlfriend's house and everybody was sitting down talking about the first time they had sex. And my face was hot with embarrassment. Just feverishly hot with embarrassment. 'Cause I could not remember. Now, as a 14-year-old girl, I swallowed that pain whole, right? As a 45-year-old woman, I know that was my GODself protecting me. So my first time was not my choice. And even now, I cannot remember. It's time to change the dynamic. You know how we become really and truly strong women and men? We got to stop that whole strong black woman thing, because we break our backs trying to carry things that don't belong to us. And we destroy the men in our lives by telling them, be a man, don't cry. No, real men cry. And it shouldn't have to be in the dark. What are some of the ways that you yourself have desensitized your pain? What ways have you broken yourself? Who are you giving permission to keep breaking you? Who is worth your peace of mind? In what ways are you healing yourself? When you ask yourself, hi Shamika, how can I heal? How can I ease the pain? You ease the pain by being honest with yourself, by being forthcoming with yourself, by loving yourself amazingly, loving yourself. It's so important. What's your takeaway in this? I've noticed there are some people, hi JW, who are speaking out, and then there are others who are quiet. And Spirit is telling me right now that the people that are quiet have been taught to keep those burdens to themselves. You've heard things like, nobody want to hear that. that people are going to think you're crazy, right? I'm starting with the cards tonight, so anybody wants a reading, you can go ahead and put it below. I'm flipping the cards now. Hi, Shar. And we've got to stop, because not only are they abusing us, they've taught us how to abuse us. They've taught you how to abuse you. They've taught you how to hate you. Who is worth the love you should have for yourself? No one. No one is higher than you. No one is greater than you. No one outshines you. The only time those things happen is when you give it permission to happen. I've said to more than a few people just this week, nothing is higher than me. I'm not higher than anybody, but in my personal world, nothing comes before me. Because if I hand the reins over to anything before me, then that means I'm in service to that thing I've handed myself over to. Am I bigger than the universe? I am the universe. I am the universe. Now I want to show you something real quick. And I thought about this the other day. I see you, Zandria. We are this beautiful song that plays throughout the cosmos, right? Each one of us, a different song. Some of us are heavy metal, some of us are R&B, some of us are jazz, some of us are hip hop. We're all different songs. So you and I are a verse in and of ourselves. So I'm universe, you're universe. Nothing and no one is bigger than you, because you're in your own God lane. And when you're in your own God lane and you recognize that and you focus on what it is that you want to do, hey Doris, and you focus in on what you're trying to build and your God self, you're ignoring your God self. You are doing the work for everything and everyone else and wondering why you can't manifest a cool breeze on a hot ass day. Because you think it means that you have to lean on something outside of you. What did I tell you that was? A hope fiend. Somebody who hopes for situations outside of themselves to change them. No. It starts with you. Okay, I'm doing the readings now. Guys, if you liked tonight's session, tonight's class, if you appreciated it, please, I ask that you make donation of your decision into my Cash App or my PayPal, remembering that this is my only means of income. Don't want to beg, and I won't, but I'm definitely doing some serious work. And the universe already confirmed to me that until a job manifests itself in my new state, that this was going to see me through. So, Zandria, you have the staying alive card. Staying alive. Zandria, staying alive comes for you because it's saying that it's really easy for you to get caught up in other people's lives. And that doesn't mean you're nosy, but what it does mean is that people almost gravitate to you like a moth to a flame. And you have got to do your best. What Spirit is saying is you got to keep your light on. You got to keep your light and your energy going. You got to keep your spirit up. And you got to learn to say no. No is a complete sentence. And you have to come first in your dynamic. Other people cannot come first. Other things cannot come first. You have to decide that you are more important than the things that are trying to get their energy from you. Because that's what happens. When people don't want to do their own work, they'll look for other people to do it for them. Did you know that? Did you notice that people who have a problem loving themselves will go look for people to love them? Did you notice that? Like, I can't be bothered to do this. I need somebody to love me because I don't have time to love myself. I need somebody to be an ear because I don't have time to listen to myself. I need somebody to do, and these are all energies that come from your lower self and your inner child, because they still think that they need to be taken care of instead of taking care of business. I hope that makes sense. Who's next? And I hope you guys really enjoyed tonight's class. I worked hard on it for you. Also, yeah, I know. See, I use cards because people often need things that are tangible to talk to them. You're welcome. But I allow spirit to talk to me and through me. This, guys, is the GODself oil. It's a GODself connecting with your higher self. It's a meditation oil. And I often use it at my temples, my third eye, and in my aura so that I can get information pertaining to my life, so that I can hear what is being said to me. I want you to hear what is being said to you. I want you to get the information that is vital to who you are supposed to be. I hope that makes sense. Is there anyone else who wants a reading? Hey, Christina. Oh, absolutely. This oil is everything. What I love about it, somebody else commented it because I thought about it myself after I made it. I said, ooh, that looks like a lava lamp, right? And it's like fire. And it awakens the GODself. The smell is amazing. I use aromatherapy in my work, and I allow spirit to move my hands. I use spirit, the works of my hands, to manifest things. And I am blessed to be a true alchemist, and I'm learning so much about myself. Since I connected to my higher self, here's some of the things I found out. I was no longer supposed to be a New York resident. So I packed everything I owned and moved. I was still irrevocably broken in some of the things that happened in my life. So I started healing them. I also started recognizing when people were gravitating to my light, and when I had to go dark a couple of times. And that's the thing I think we're afraid of also. We're afraid of going dark. Everything begins in the darkness. Life begins in the darkness. Even in the Bible it says, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. It tells you that the world was formed in darkness. Congratulations, Christina. And guess what? When you start connecting to your God self, you are no longer afraid of taking risk. Because here's what I learned. Only successful people take risk. They don't play it safe. The hardest thing in the world was to pick my entire self up and move so far away from my family. Here are the things I also learned. So you guys know on my mom's side, I'm Geechee and Gullah, and I have family. And I found people who are distantly but closely related to my mom. Congratulations. And they just stepped in, like I have to get my license tomorrow for a job I applied for. They already warned me that if I don't change my license to Florida, that they will throw out my application. And at the start of the week, I didn't know what I was going to do. But I said, you know what, Spirit? I trust you. I trust the process. I know you've got me in this, and that you're going to make a way out of no way. And I said higher self manifested. And so I was doing readings. I definitely should have did a live last night, but I was so wiped out. Like I told you, I had to press the reset button because the day before everything was going wrong. So I pressed the reset button, and here I am. And I'm not, I'm just amazed how things work. Another reading I got from two different readers kept saying, I see you getting initiated in Vadun. And I was going, you do? And they were like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm not Haitian. I'm not Creole. So I don't see how that could happen. And I kept denying it. And they're like, I don't know. I see it. That's what I see. I'm telling you what I see. And I had a cousin. I don't know if you guys saw the post or I posted to my cousin. He posted in our family group that he had connected with someone in Benin, in Africa, and that we are direct descendants of royalty in Benin. And when I looked up Benin on Google, guess what I found? It is the birthplace of Vadun. So what they were seeing was very accurate. And as you release the things you've been taught aimlessly, blindly, you start to get the information and the things you need to get to tell your own story. It's time to tell your own story. Hey Shanika, hey Kathy, you gotta be okay with receiving your story, no matter who walks away from you, no matter who turns their back. Because here's the thing, some people are gonna turn their back on you and it's gonna hurt. But guess what? It's gotta hurt if it's to heal. And anybody that walks away from who you authentically are, they weren't your friend in the first place. And you're born into the families that you're born into. Some of them, they come, they show you love. Some of them, you're placed there to learn hurt. Some of them, you are placed there to see what disappointment looks like early. And that's just a hard fact. And you don't need to stay connected to people who rip out the vital parts of you. And more importantly, you need to learn how to not rip out the vital parts of yourself. Help me help you to rebuild yourself. Please. Can you do that? Let's see what time it is. It is 7:57. Guys, like I said, it's time. No problem, Christina. That's what I'm here for. It's time for me to say goodnight. If you missed the live, go back and watch it. There are some things in here I think that are going to be gems for you. If you would be so kind to just send a donation, whatever spirit leads you to send, I would be greatly appreciative. And I will see you guys tomorrow night for our next live, session 8. I'll be doing readings then as well. Christina, it blesses me to bless you, you know. And I thank you guys. You have no idea how I live for 7 o'clock to come so that I can connect with you and give you what I have to give you. And help you heal and start your life. Because today is the first day of the rest of your life. You are not your addictions. You are not your molestations. You are not your disappointments. You are not your rape trauma. You're a person ready to heal. So tonight's letter is, how can I ease the pain? I'll give you your first answer. Stop desensitizing. Stop putting Novocaine in your pain receptors and accept what pain feels like. so that you'll know how to survive and get yourself out. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. God bless you. Oh, and even after the live, we don't have to be live for you guys to donate. So if you want to donate after I'm gone, that's fine. Thank you so much. Have a great night and a better week.